The stuff came out of the woodwork. People started scouring their drawers and their garages and their basements for silver, and it all came flooding in, and most of it's alloyed, and so the refiners are backed up. I hear they're running 7 days a week just to get through it. Right now, I'm out of Buffalo rounds, and it's a 2-week wait to get them.
Really?
2 weeks. Usually I could get them in 2 to 3 days.
Well, Harry, what do you think is next for the precious metals? We saw gold hit an all-time high over $43.50. Silver went up to $54 an ounce at one point, and now they've both dipped. Are we going to go back to those highs?
I think we'll go back to those and higher.
Do you think that people who are new, who are just starting right now, should still be buying?
Buy your gold and silver online from SD Bullion. New customers get gold or silver at spot by visiting sdbullion.com/new.
I gotta say, Harry, the showcases are looking a little bit bare right now.
Yeah, so what happened is the last couple of days when the price of silver dipped pretty significantly from, $52 down to $49, $48, people came in and did the wise thing and bought on the dips. And so we haven't been able to restock yet. So we are quite depleted, especially on generics, bars and rounds.
Yeah, and you only got a few pieces of gold down here, I see.
Yeah, and there again, gold was way down too. So, down a couple $100 an ounce the last few days. And therefore, again, the smart money is buying on the dips, and I applaud them. That's the time to buy.
Yeah, I bought some silver yesterday, and it's interesting. The price is going up a little bit today, but we're still under $50 an ounce for silver. So I still think it's a good buying opportunity.
It is, but when people come in and say, boy, silver's crashing, and I look at the board and it's, 47 or 49, I said, well, yeah, but it's still at a 15-year high.
Do you think it's going to level off here, or is it going to go back down?
Oh, I don't think so. I think today it's recovered a lot of yesterday's losses. I mean, you can see on the board here, we're up $1.61 this morning. So it's definitely coming back today. There's, in any fast-moving market, there's going to be profit taking, which is smart. You can't lose money by making money, and so people did yesterday. But now they're buying again.
Harry, I have to ask you, the board looks a little bit different than it did before. You guys used to use Kitco for the pricing. What are you using now?
Well, we're using an app that's aligned with the COMEX spot price. And this is the reason for that is this. The refiners and wholesalers that we sell to are currently using the COMEX for spot silver particularly, because they're not using Kitco anymore either. So we have to align ourselves when we buy with who we're selling to and the prices they're using. It's not really as convenient, and it's a little bit unfamiliar for everyone to look at these numbers, especially if they're looking at home on Kitco, because Kitco on silver is going to be about $1 or so higher. But it's pointless for me to use that as a baseline for buying if people that are buying from me are using this.
Do you think this is going to be a change that's forever, or is this just temporary?
I don't think so. I think there was about a $2 split a week ago between the COMEX and the Kitco, and now it's more like $1. So as they normalize and kind of get a little more equal, I think most everyone will go back to Kitco. I prefer Kitco. It's just an easier to use app, and it also has the bid and the ask prices, whereas this does not.
Well, why do you think there was such a difference to begin with? Do you think it was just all of the demand or the price swings?
I think, you're talking the futures market and the physical market where people are taking delivery right away. And right now, there's such a glut at the refiners, the big boys around the country, that actually they're not even buying anymore. And so it's caused a divergence in who they're using for pricing and if they're even buying at all.
Okay, so you just said something really interesting. I put a video out about a week ago, or maybe longer now, talking about how the refiners were refusing to buy sterling silver and refusing to buy 90% in some cases. Is that still going on right now?
It definitely is. They're not buying any alloyed silver. That would be sterling, of course, 90%, 40%, war nickels. Anything alloyed, they're not buying.
I have heard some people say that their coin shops that they go to now are refusing to buy that stuff as well. Are you still buying it here?
We are still buying it, but it's put a strain on us financially, because without a back door to go lay it off quickly to keep the money moving, it just sits. And therefore it creates a cash flow problem. It's just quite a strain, and I don't think I'm alone in this. In fact, I think locally here, what I've heard from other customers is the competition generally isn't buying around town here. I'm not saying that's everyone, but a lot of them are not buying because they don't have the resources to sit on it. And the problem too for everyone is it's probably a temporary problem, but we don't know how temporary. All we hear from the refiners is we're too backed up to buy anymore. Because at $50 or $52 an ounce, what happened is the stuff came out of the woodwork. People started scouring their drawers and their garages and their basements for silver, and it all came flooding in, and most of it's alloyed, and so the refiners are backed up. I hear they're running 7 days a week just to get through it, and they're still, I hear weeks, then I hear months. So I think this, for the rest of this calendar year, is going to be the situation.
Wow. One other thing I've seen is the premiums going up on certain products.
Yes.
One of them being the Silver Eagles. We saw that during COVID.
Yeah.
Is that happening again?
Yeah, absolutely. If you look at our price this morning, we're selling Eagles at $57 an ounce, which is actually about 40 cents lower than a nearby competitor. And yet you look at the board and the COMEX silver is $49.08, so the premium's ridiculous. And the problem is the replacement cost for this is very high, if you can get it at all. Right now, I'm out of Buffalo rounds, and it's a 2-week wait to get them.
Really?
2 weeks. Usually I could get them in 2 to 3 days.
So are you saying there's a silver shortage on some products?
I don't know if it's real or manufactured, or people are just sitting on the inventory and not wanting to move it. I don't know what the reason is, except to say that the demand is outpacing the supply quite a bit. It's a difficult time. It's exciting, but it's also, if you're trying to keep a business going and keep the shop interesting and fully stocked, it's been quite the challenge.
Yeah, well, I would just say, like with Eagles, being around $8 over spot, I personally wouldn't be stacking those right now. I would probably go for something else, maybe a Kangaroo or Britannias, because these other coins here, you do have them in stock. They're quite a bit cheaper. I mean, $4 cheaper.
But look at the bottom shelf where I keep the generic rounds and bars. It's depleted because your idea is shared by many, many people who say, I'm not buying Eagles, I'll buy the low premium silver, but you can't even get it. I mean, you can get it, but not on a timely basis.
See, this is what's so crazy, is that it seems like a lot of people are selling their silver, so there should be a lot out there to buy, but then the new silver products, whether it's a round or a coin, they're just not available.
They are if you're willing to wait or you're willing to pay a high premium. And so, fortunately for us, we're able to keep somewhat stocked because we're buying over the counter all day long. We've hit a nice equilibrium of buying and selling, except perhaps with regard to generics. I haven't been able to keep up with the demand.
Would you say that most people who are coming into your shop now are selling or buying?
Probably more sellers than buyers, but not terribly different. And I think too, the 90%, the constitutional junk silver, if you will, is still a great buy, and thankfully still coming in good supply. So if people are a little bit flexible and are willing to get something that's priced actually a tad below what generic rounds and bars are going for, you still can get silver.
Right, but don't you think that some people out there are worried because their local coin shop maybe isn't buying 90% right now, and they're thinking, what am I going to do with this in the future?
There's an element of that, but you got to remember too, a lot of people that buy this are buying it because they think the future holds a situation where barter is going to be necessary. So they're not buying it as a speculation to resell back to us, but rather as a preparation for a darker time.
Yeah, that does make sense. I mean, I guess if you already have a nice stockpile of junk silver, you're kind of looking for other things. But if you're just getting started, I certainly think you should get some in your stack.
It's just fun too. The variety is interesting. The history of some of this stuff is really, really fascinating. And I think things like Mercury dimes and Benjamin Franklin halves, things that don't look like today's coinage, are always going to move well.
Well, Harry, what do you think is next for the precious metals? We saw gold hit an all-time high over $43.50. Silver went up to $54 an ounce at one point, and now they've both dipped. Are we going to go back to those highs?
I think we'll go back to those and higher. It's just going to be, you know, kind of a seesaw thing where it goes up some, there's some profit taking, and then it inches up again. And maybe not inches up, maybe rockets up, because, I mean, look at the numbers. You know, yeah, it's down from last week, but $4,166, that's record gold practically.
And silver too. I mean, being around $50 an ounce, this is something that we couldn't have even dreamed of last year.
No, although, you know, we kind of speculated on a video early in the year where we thought it would be by the end of the year, and I think Adrian and I agreed that it might hit 40, and we were wrong. It hit 50. It's an exciting time for people who have been buying steadily, keeping to their plan, dollar cost averaging, because your stack is worth a lot more than it was a year ago. So I think the lesson might be, if you have patience, if you're not speculating to make a quick flip, time is your friend on this stuff. I've had people come in selling gold that they bought in the 80s, older folks that are just thrilled with what they've done with their investment. That's a long hold, but even holding it a year would have gotten you 30% increase.
Do you think that people who are new, who are just starting right now, should still be buying?
Where you are is where you are, as my brother Bob says. And so this is the start. If you're starting today, that's the price. You can't start back in the 80s if you're starting today. Therefore, this is your baseline. And maybe 10 years from now, you can add a zero to the price of silver. Who knows? But you can only start today. You can't start yesterday.
Would you say the demand now has increased even over what you saw during COVID?
Oh, way past that.
Really?
Yeah, way past COVID. This is my 10th year at the shop here. I've never seen anything like this. We're not handing out numbers out the door, but we have had, you know, 3 people deep at the counters here. Last week in particular was kind of brutal in terms of just the volume of work all day long without let up.
Well, now that the mainstream media is talking about precious metals, do you expect that demand to continue to grow?
I do, though yesterday and the day before, when there was some price dips, things quieted down some. And when I say quieted down, I mean quieted down to normal, which is always busy. But with a price increase today again, maybe the insanity will resume.
Maybe it will.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I'll certainly be watching. And as always, I appreciate the time, Harry.
Thank you, Silver Dragons.